Most people never realize this. The difference between your life and the life of a billionaire isn't luck, isn't family, and isn't intelligence. It's wiring. The architecture of thought. The invisible blueprint sculpted in the quiet hours when no one is watching. While you're battling doubts, distractions, and self-imposed ceilings, billionaires are engineering their inner worlds like master architects, rewiring their mental circuits until the impossible bends beneath their will. Imagine if the very same brain you carry inside your skull, built with the same neurons, the same electrical pulses, could be trained to think on the level of Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, or Elon Musk. It's not fantasy. Neuroscience shows your brain is neuroplastic, constantly reshaping itself based on what you feed it. But here's the haunting truth. Most people let the world feed them fear, while billionaires feed themselves fire. One path builds chains, the other builds empires. So ask yourself, are you willing to reforge your mind? Because this story isn't about them. It's about the hidden supercomputer inside you, waiting to wake up. People love to mythologize billionaires as rare geniuses born with cosmic gifts, as if Steve Jobs came out of the womb holding an iPhone, or Elon Musk was born scribbling rocket equations on nursery walls. But the reality is far less mystical and far more empowering. These titans were not handed brilliance. They forged it, brick by painful brick. Neuroscientists have found that elite performers don't necessarily start with higher IQs. Instead, they develop a radically different relationship with failure, time, and discomfort. While most brains interpret discomfort as danger and retreat, billionaire brains interpret it as growth and accelerate forward. That's the difference. They are willing to suffer for their visions, and the act of suffering rewires their mental resilience like steel tempered in fire. Imagine that. While others are shrinking from challenges, they are literally strengthening their neurological pathways for dominance. You have the same machinery. You just haven't been using it like a weapon yet. Here's what separates them on a neurological battlefield. Billionaires don't just react to reality. They rewrite it. The average brain is a mirror, reflecting the chaos of the external world, easily hijacked by fear, gossip, and scarcity thinking. But billionaire brains function more like projectors. They cast their vision outward until reality conforms to it. Jeff Bezos didn't see a bookstore when he looked at the internet. He saw a future empire. Warren Buffett didn't see numbers. He saw patterns, compounding like avalanches. This visionary lens isn't genetic, it's trained. It comes from relentless exposure to new ideas, brutal self-honesty, and obsessive goal setting until their brains become addicted to progress. This means they don't just see what is, they see what could be. And because the human brain seeks evidence to confirm what it believes, their belief in the future makes them spot opportunities everyone else misses. You can train this. You can sculpt your perception to see gold where others see dirt. The difference is not ability. It's belief multiplied by obsession. Another hidden weapon, energy allocation. Most people waste their mental energy on emotional noise. Anger at traffic, envy on social media, anxiety about opinions that don't matter. Billionaires guard their energy like treasure. They know the brain is a finite battery each day, and every wasted thought bleeds power from their empire building. Elon Musk famously works 80 to 100 hours a week not because he's superhuman, but because he's ruthlessly optimized his energy. He eliminates decision fatigue by wearing the same clothes, delegating micro-decisions, and automating habits. This preserves cognitive bandwidth for what matters: vision, strategy, execution. Meanwhile, most brains are drowning in trivial decisions and dopamine addiction. Imagine if you recaptured all the mental energy you spend scrolling, arguing, and worrying, and reinvested it into building one legendary vision. That's the difference. They compound focus while others compound chaos. Your brain can become a laser or a lantern. Billionaires choose the laser. Which one are you training? Here's the deepest truth. Your brain obeys your beliefs. Every billionaire you admire built their empire on an invisible foundation of beliefs so strong they bent the world around them. Warren Buffett believes in compounding so deeply that every decision flows from it like water from spring. Jeff Bezos believed in customer obsession when the internet was a joke. Steve Jobs believed he could dent the universe with design when everyone told him he was insane. These weren't just thoughts, they were operating systems running their minds. Most people run on the opposite OS: doubt, fear, and conformity. And your brain, like a loyal servant, will rearrange your reality to match those beliefs. That's why the first war you must win is internal. Until you reprogram your beliefs, every strategy will fail. Every plan will crumble. Change your beliefs, and your brain becomes a weapon. Leave them unchallenged, and it becomes a cage. So here's the revelation you can't ignore. The gap between your brain and a billionaire's brain isn't permanent. It's programmable. Your neurons are constantly rewiring based on what you feed them. Every book, every risk, every discipline choice is code rewriting the architecture of your mind. Neuroplasticity doesn't care where you were born, what grades you got, or how many times you failed. It only cares about what you do next. That's why this moment matters. Because while most people will read this and scroll on, you're standing at a threshold. You can either stay a prisoner of your default wiring, or you can become the architect of your destiny. This is the moment you choose. This is where the blueprint of a billionaire brain begins. Not with money, not with fame, but with a decision to think like a warrior, build like a visionary, and burn like someone who refuses to die unknown. If you could open the skull of a billionaire and look inside, you wouldn't see gold or genius. You'd see trenches. Neural pathways carved so deep by relentless repetition that their thoughts flow like rivers toward success. Elon Musk didn't simply wake up with visions of rockets and electric cars. He trained his brain like an athlete trains muscle. Thousands of hours of immersion, failure, recalibration, and obsession burn new highways through his neural networks. That's how neuroplasticity works. The more often a thought fires, the stronger its circuit becomes, until it becomes automatic. Most people unknowingly strengthen the circuits of fear, procrastination, and doubt every single day. Billionaires strengthen the circuits of vision, risk tolerance, and execution. They are sculptors of their own minds, chiseling away weakness until only relentless focus remains. Your brain is clay. Their brain is clay. The only difference is what each of you chooses to sculpt. Greatness is not random. It's ritual. Every billionaire operates on daily systems designed to override human mediocrity. Warren Buffett spends 80% of his day reading, feeding his mind like a warrior sharpening his sword. Jeff Bezos guards his mornings as sacred creative time, refusing to schedule meetings before 10 a.m. Steve Jobs took long daily walks to solve problems through deep thinking. These aren't quirks. They're neurological reprogramming sessions. Repetition engraves behavior into the brain until it no longer requires effort. It becomes identity. Meanwhile, average people run their days on autopilot, letting urgency devour their attention and dopamine hijack their discipline. Billionaires design their days like fortresses, shielding their focus from the world's no. Every ritual is a vote for the future self they are becoming. And over time, those votes stack like bricks until they've built a mental citadel no distraction can penetrate. What citadel are you building? Emotions are the operating system of human behavior, and billionaires have hacked it. They don't suppress emotions. They reprogram their meaning. Elon Musk feels fear like anyone else, but he interprets it as a compass pointing toward growth, not danger. Jeff Bezos frames failure not as shame, but as tuition for mastery. Warren Buffett replaces greed with patience, turning emotion into strategy. Most people are slaves to their emotional algorithms. They wait to feel ready. They crumble under rejection. They let anxiety dictate decisions. Billionaires flip the script. They act first and let their emotions catch up later. This rewires their brains to associate discomfort with power, not pain. Over time, what terrifies others becomes their adrenaline. This emotional mastery is not magic. It's trained conditioning. And it's available to you. if you're willing to stop waiting to feel ready and start acting like your future depends on it. Because it does. If there's one word that fuels billionaire minds, it is obsession. Average brains crave balance. Billionaire brains crave immersion. Steve Jobs was infamous for his intensity, pouring every ounce of attention into design until his vision bent reality. Elon Musk slept on factory floors, eating cold pizza between 18-hour work marathons, not because he loved suffering, but because he was possessed by mission. This level of obsession rewires dopamine pathways. What gives most people pleasure, comfort, entertainment, no longer satisfies them. They only feel alive in the furnace of creation. This is why they outwork, outlast, and outthink the world. Their brains reward them for the very thing that exhausts others. But here's the truth. Obsession can be trained. Pick one vision, one mission, and feed it all your focus. Starve distractions until your brain stops craving them. Soon, your mind will stop asking for permission to work and start demanding it. That is when you become unstoppable. Most minds are trapped in what could be called the mediocrity loop. Small effort creates small results. Small results reinforce small beliefs. Small beliefs kill ambition, and the cycle tightens like a noose. Billionaires break this loop by engineering quick feedback from massive action. They launch fast, fail fast, learn fast. Jeff Bezos famously said, "If you double the number of experiments you do per year, you're going to double your inventiveness." They hack the feedback system. Instead of waiting for perfect, they chase momentum. This momentum floods their brain with dopamine, which rewires their identity from someone trying to someone becoming. Average people wait until they feel confident to act. Billionaires act until they feel confident. This single flip, acting before confidence, can rewire your life. Because confidence is not a cause. It is a byproduct of motion. Move first, believe later. That's the billionaire algorithm. Here's the most hidden power. Billionaires don't just change habits. They change identities. Warren Buffett didn't become the world's greatest investor by trying to invest better. He became the kind of person who breathes investing. Elon Musk didn't build SpaceX by trying to work harder. He became the kind of person for whom 100-hour weeks are normal. Identity drives behavior, and your brain defends identity like a fortress. If you still see yourself as ordinary, every ambitious action will feel like sabotage. If you rewire your identity to builder, visionary, or world changer, your brain will defend those behaviors instead. Every book you read, every risk you take, every late night you endure is not just changing your skills. It's voting for a new identity. Stack enough votes, and your old self becomes unrecognizable. That is how billionaires become inevitable. Every empire you admire was born in the furnace of decision. One yes that rewrote destiny. But here's what most people never see. Billionaires don't make decisions like the rest of the world. While average minds chase comfort and avoid risk, billionaire minds chase clarity and embrace controlled risk like a weapon. Jeff Bezos uses what he calls the regret minimization framework. He asks, "When I'm 80, will I regret not doing this?" Elon Musk uses first principles thinking, stripping decisions down to physics and logic instead of opinions or tradition. Warren Buffett filters decisions through long-term compounding, asking how each move will age over decades, not weeks. Most people decide based on emotion, peer pressure, or fear of loss. Billionaires decide based on logic, time horizons, and mission. This difference is seismic, because every decision becomes a seed, and the seeds billionaires plant are designed to grow forests, not weeds. Here's the paradox that confuses the world. Billionaires move slow and fast at the same time. They are slow to commit, and then ruthless in execution. Warren Buffett studies a company for years before investing, but once he does, he moves billions overnight. Elon Musk will spend months thinking about a product, then launch it with insane velocity once the decision crystallizes. Average minds do the opposite. They leap impulsively, then hesitate and second-guess, bleeding momentum. This speed paradox is psychological warfare. Billionaires gather deep data, run mental simulations, stress test assumptions, and then burn the boats. Their brains are trained to delay impulse but accelerate commitment. That is how they escape the limbo that traps most people, thinking forever, doing nothing. They don't let fear paralyze them after deciding. They let action drown fear. The lesson? Take time to choose, but once chosen, move like your life depends on it. Because it does. Fear of risk is the cage that keeps most minds small. Billionaires see risk as rocket fuel. Jeff Bezos launched Amazon knowing there was a 70% chance of failure. But he understood something vital. Even failed risks teach you to fly. Elon Musk poured his last millions into SpaceX and Tesla while friends begged him to stop. Most people think billionaires are fearless. They aren't. They simply calculate risk differently. They ask, what is the worst that can happen, and can I survive it? If the answer is yes, they leap. Average minds exaggerate risk until it looks like death. Billionaire minds shrink risk down to data. This rewiring frees them from paralysis. Every risk becomes a test flight, not a death sentence. This mindset is trainable. Start taking small, calculated risks daily, and your brain will stop seeing risk as terror and start seeing it as transformation. Here's a secret. Billionaire brains think in probabilities, not certainties. Warren Buffett has said he's only been truly sure about a handful of investments in his life, but he bets big when the probabilities align. Jeff Bezos openly accepts that most experiments will fail, but the few that succeed will pay for the rest. This probabilistic thinking rewires their expectations. They don't seek perfection, only positive odds. Average minds demand guarantees and get stuck waiting forever. Billionaires demand asymmetric payoff, small downside, massive upside. Their brains run like casinos, designed to win over time, not every hand. This makes them patient during losses and fearless during experiments. You can train this by reframing every decision as a bet. Ask, what's the worst cost if this fails? What's the possible upside if it works? Soon, you'll stop seeking safety and start seeking leverage. That's how billionaire brains multiply reality. The world overwhelms most people with endless options. Billionaires escape that chaos by anchoring decisions to vision. Steve Jobs didn't decide what to build based on market trends. He decided based on his obsession with beauty and simplicity. Elon Musk filters everything through his mission to accelerate humanity's future. This vision becomes a compass that filters noise from signal. Average minds drift, pulled by distractions and trends. Billionaire minds orbit a fixed star, which gives their decisions gravitational power. This is why they appear immune to criticism and chaos. They aren't distracted because they aren't directionless. Vision isn't a poster on the wall. It's a neurological override system. Once you know your mission, so clearly it burns in your bones, every decision becomes obvious. Until then, everything will feel confusing. Clarity isn't found. It's built. Build yours, and your mind will stop wandering and start conquering. Behind every legendary decision is an invisible force. Courage. Not the Hollywood kind. Quiet, strategic courage. The kind Jeff Bezos used when everyone mocked selling books online. The kind Elon Musk used when rockets exploded and bankruptcy loomed. The kind Warren Buffett used to sit alone on unpopular bets while the world laughed. Courage is not a gift. It is a neural circuit built by choosing boldness repeatedly until it becomes instinct. Fear never disappears. Courage just grows louder. Billionaires feed their courage circuit every time they act in the face of fear. Most people feed their fear circuit every time they retreat. This choice rewires the brain like a path through a forest. The more you walk it, the clearer it becomes. If you want to think like a billionaire, don't wait to feel brave. Walk scared. Act while your hands shake. Courage will come later, but only if you move now. Every billionaire has walked through fire. But what separates them isn't that they avoided collapse. It's that they didn't break inside it. Elon Musk watched SpaceX rockets explode, Tesla bleed cash, and his personal fortune evaporate. Yet he stayed unshaken. Jeff Bezos endured years of public ridicule, while Amazon lost money every quarter. Warren Buffett has seen billions vanish in market crashes, yet stayed calm as stone. Most people crack under that pressure. Billionaire brains absorb it and grow stronger. Neuroscience calls this stress inoculation. Repeated exposure to controlled chaos builds neural armor. Their minds become like fortresses, not by avoiding adversity, but by being forged in it. Every failure adds another layer of steel to their psyche. Most people see pain as a sign to stop. Billionaires see it as proof they're expanding their limits. Pain doesn't scare them. It signals they're on the frontier. Where average people crumble under chaos, billionaire minds become anti-fragile. They don't just survive stress, they grow from it. Jeff Bezos said, "If you're not failing, you're not innovating enough." Elon Musk calls failure necessary to invent the future. Steve Jobs was fired from Apple, the company he founded, yet returned to resurrect it into an empire. They reframe setbacks as data, not death. This reframing rewires their brains. Each crash strengthens their risk tolerance and confidence. Average minds attach failure to identity. I failed, so I'm a failure. Billionaire minds separate the two. I failed, so I learned. That mental separation is freedom. It means no result can destroy them. It means they walk through ruin with unshaken posture. And this isn't genetic. It's trained. You can condition your brain to treat failure as feedback until setbacks stop shrinking you and start sharpening you. Emotional chaos is the silent killer of ambition. Criticism, betrayal, rejection. These storms drown most dreams. Billionaires walk through them dry. Warren Buffett is legendary for his calm, calling emotional stability more important than intelligence in investing. Elon Musk gets mocked publicly. Their secret is emotional immunity. They don't let external storms infect their internal world. They train their nervous system to stay steady no matter the chaos outside. This isn't stoicism for show, it's strategy. Emotional turbulence burns mental energy. Billionaires conserve that energy for creation, not reaction. They treat criticism like weather. Notice it, adapt to it, but never become it. Meanwhile, most people burn their power defending ego. Imagine if you stopped defending and started building. Imagine how much power you'd reclaim. Emotional control is empire fuel. The world underestimates one trait that billionaire minds wield like a sword: endurance. Not just physical stamina, but psychological endurance. Jeff Bezos says, most people overestimate what can be done in 1 year and underestimate what can be done in 10. Elon Musk survived years of ridicule, lawsuits, and near bankruptcy because he could outlast the storm. Warren Buffett has held investments for decades through countless market crashes. Average minds collapse when results are slow. Billionaire minds thrive on the long game. They've trained their brains to delay gratification, which strengthens the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for planning and discipline. This neurological wiring lets them suffer now for rewards later, while most people do the opposite. Endurance is what allows their visions to compound while others quit. It's not talent that builds empires. It's staying in the game longer than anyone else dares to. Every time billionaires fall, they rise faster. Steve Jobs rebounded from being fired to build Pixar and then returned to Apple to spark its greatest era. Elon Musk rebuilt SpaceX after multiple launch failures that almost bankrupted him. Jeff Bezos reinvented Amazon from an online bookstore to a tech empire after years of doubt. This is their rebound reflex. Their brains respond to collapse with acceleration, not retreat. Average minds get stuck grieving losses, which cements them in paralysis. Billionaire minds extract lessons instantly and redirect momentum. This rewires their brain's reward system. Instead of associating failure with shame, they associate recovery with pride. That's why they bounce back while others stay broken. This reflex can be trained. Next time you fail, shorten the time between breakdown and action. Cut the mourning and move. The faster you rise, the less failure can scar you. Pain is the universal currency of greatness. and billionaires spend it without hesitation. Elon Musk admits his entrepreneurial journey is like eating glass while staring into the abyss. Jeff Bezos endured decades of relentless pressure before Amazon became profitable. Warren Buffett faced decades of obscurity before becoming a legend. They don't run from pain, they mine it. They understand pain is data. It reveals your weaknesses, forces growth, and forges resilience. Most people avoid pain and remain soft. Billionaires embrace pain and become unstoppable. Their brains stop labeling pain as danger and start labeling it as transformation. That single rewiring changes everything. Because once pain stops frightening you, nothing can stop you. Every setback becomes strength. Every hardship becomes horsepower. This is how they walk through hell and come out stronger. The world calls it luck, but it's just pain converted into power. They say destiny is written in the stars, but the truth is destiny is written in the silence of your habits, in the invisible hours when no one is watching, in the decisions you make when no one will ever know. The difference between your brain and a billionaire's brain isn't locked behind some genetic vault. It's carved day by by a relentless pursuit of growth. Billionaires didn't start out thinking at a different altitude. They climbed there. Every late night they spent learning, every painful failure they dissected, every risk they embraced despite the trembling in their hands. Those are the moments that rewired their minds. And here's the real revelation. Your brain can do the same. Because your brain is plastic, flexible, and waiting to be forged by your will. The world won't hand you a billionaire's mind, but it will hand you the same 24 hours they had. What you do with it decides everything. But this path is not for the faint-hearted. You must be willing to burn old versions of yourself, to let go of mental habits that no longer serve the future you're building. Billionaires don't just think big, they think clean. They declutter their minds from drama, from distractions, from the noise of people who gave up on their own dreams and now want you to play small too. You must protect your mind like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. Eliminate what dulls your energy. Curate what fuels it. Every thought you entertain, every belief you adopt, every voice you allow in your mental space, these are investments. Either they compound into wealth or they corrode your potential. The brain is like a garden. If you do not plant and protect powerful thoughts, weeds of doubt will take over. A billionaire brain isn't filled with noise. It's filled with clarity, focus, and fire. And here's something they won't teach you in school. Billionaires obsess over leverage. Not just financial leverage, mental leverage. They know that time is finite, but creativity is infinite. They design their lives around systems that multiply their effort. They delegate what drains them. They automate what bores them. They focus like lasers on the few moves that create massive impact, and they discard everything else as noise. Most people exhaust themselves juggling everything. Billionaires energize themselves by doing only what truly matters. Your brain can learn this skill, the skill of ruthless focus, but it requires courage. The courage to say no. The courage to let go of good opportunities for the sake of legendary ones. The courage to stop being busy and start being powerful. This is the shift that transforms a mind into a machine for exponential growth. Understand this. Every billionaire once had a mind just like yours, uncertain, scattered, doubting. What made the difference was that they trained it like an athlete. They fed it powerful books. They surrounded it with powerful minds. They pushed it through powerful problems until solving them became second nature. This is what forges mental greatness. Not luck, not birth, not magic. Training, repetition, relentless evolution. Every time you stretch beyond your limits, you rewire your brain. Every time you refuse to quit, you harden your mind. Every time you envision a higher version of yourself and take action toward it, you're sculpting your own billionaire brain. It's not about money. It's about mastery. If you chase mastery, money chases you. If you chase money, it runs from you. So build the mind first and watch how the world bends to it. And now, the choice is in your hands. The battlefield is not out there. It's inside your skull. Every day, you wake up with two minds, the mind of comfort and the mind of greatness. One wants to hit snooze, avoid risk, and blend in. The other wants to rise, to dare, to build something eternal. Only one will win, and whichever you feed becomes your future. The brains of billionaires are not made of gold or genius. They are made of decisions, the same kind of decisions you can make today. Decisions to outlearn, outwork, and outlast. Decisions to rise again when others stay down. Decisions to believe in your vision when no one else does. Decide, now, that your mind will no longer be a cage, it will be a catapult. Because the only thing, right now, your mind is at a crossroads. You can close this video and go back to your old patterns, or you can make the decision billionaires make every single day. The decision to rise, to evolve, to rewire your mind into a weapon of greatness. Because their brains aren't built from magic, they're built from daily discipline. And so can yours. So don't just watch success, become it. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and join the movement of minds built to defy limits. Your billionaire brain is waiting. Activate it.